you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
You're an athlete. Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes.
Welcome, athletes, into another episode of the Gym Closet. I'm here, as always, with Amber.
What's up, team?
And I'm Tyler Robinson. We're the founders of Krave Gym. If this is your first time joining us, our mission is to help all of our athletes dominate the sport of life. And what that means is we basically break down all of the crap that's out there on the internet, and we try to give you the real information, the things that you need to know, and so that you don't have to decipher whether something is real or not in today's world
it's a rough world.
AI and the internet.
I always think about that I'm so glad I have the knowledge and education in this, because it can be so confusing, I bet, for people to just not know what's believable and not in the fitness space.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things out there. From our standpoint, it's frustrating because it's just all BS and people believe it. And then you're on the other side, or you can follow some really good people that have valuable information. So we're hoping to be the valuable information side of all that for you guys.
Yes. Ignore a lot of the information. I mean, there's good content out there for everybody, and we want to decipher, what is good content and what isn't. And so we share a lot of different things, like on our social media, and everything that we do. At Krave, we want to be science-backed. We want to get you the best results possible, and that's our mission, is to dominate the sport of life. And so today we're talking about doing the hard thing. Again, in today's world, it feels like there's a lot of easy, the next diet pill that's going to save all of your, save all of your time, or whatever the case is. There's just a ton of stuff out there that is the next magic pill, silver bullet or whatever. And so I think it's a good point to talk about is doing the hard thing is worth it. And, we'll get into a lot of different reasons why today, but bottom line is the effort put in is typically going to always be worth it's worth the squeeze, right? The juice is going to be worth the squeeze when you're doing the hard thing, because it's not necessarily, and I have this on my quote board right now, but it's not necessarily the work that you're putting in, but who you become when you do that hard work. And that's going to make you have a different mindset, a different perspective, and be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish in life. Mm-hmm. So today, this kind of goes back. Number one, we're going to talk about the growth comes outside of your comfort zone. So the reason to do hard things is because the comfortable thing is not going to help you grow. We talk about this all the time. It's in last season's main quote was, growth is an accumulation of your struggles. And so what that means is when things are hard, typically, if you can push through and continue to do those things, that's growth is on the other side. The person that you want to be is on the other side, or the physique you're looking for is on the other side. The goal that you have set or to accomplish is on the other side of hard work and just getting it done. So that's a big part of what we do. Obviously, the team sessions are difficult. It's something that it's just difficult to stay consistent. It's difficult to do all that. And so what we try to do at Krave is we're going to try to put the team around you, the coaches around you, everything, trying to put it in place to make that difficult a little bit easier, to make it a little bit easier to be consistent, to be motivated by your coaches or your teammates or whatever that will help you train. And the consistency comes from you doing the hard thing. That's the hardest thing. I don't think anybody is ever always motivated. Mm-hmm. The hard thing comes from the consistency of doing shit that you don't want to do because it's good for you. And I think a lot of us from the athletic background, we talk about that all the time, is because there was a lot of times we didn't want to practice. We practiced every day. We did whatever we needed to do. We lifted weights. We did the conditioning. We did the strength. We did everything to help us get better at the sport that we wanted to, achieve greatness in. And in order to, we just continued with consistency because we saw a goal at the end of the day, and we knew that getting better whatever effort we put in that day was going to affect, win a championship or make your team better, or, lift more weight if, powerlifting's your sport, whatever it was, that is the thing that would just make you better at that sport. And so I think, again, like a lot of things, when you're done with a sport, your goal in life becomes more difficult to like pinpoint if you're not making specific goals. And that's another thing we work on. But being able to accomplish those goals comes on the other side of that hard work. So growth lives outside the comfort zone.
Yeah, and a good analogy for the gym perspective is weight training, right? Because you can't grow your muscles if you're not resisting those muscles and going through that resistance. So same thing with just coming in for a hard workout. I know a lot of the athletes that come in that try it for the first time, it's hard. It's uncomfortable. But when you do those things, it just stacks and you build confidence in yourself and you build the consistency like he was talking about of just coming in and doing it more and more and having it become a little bit easier every time. But yes, it's always going to be hard. But when you're in there lifting weights, that's where the growth happens, and that's where that consistency can come in too.
Definitely. And keeping that on the top of mind, that when it is most difficult, that's, you're growing, right? And so number 2 is hard wins build confidence. And so, one goal that I've seen with thousands of athletes that have been a part of Krave that oftentimes doesn't get verbalized, but it can be recognized by the coach, is my goal is to just be more confident. Whether that's in the gym, I want to know what I'm doing in the gym, so I want to learn from the sessions, I want to learn from my coach, or whether it's being more confident in your body, I want to lose X amount of weight because that's going to help me with confidence, or whatever the case is. A lot of times that goal doesn't actually get verbalized, but it's the confidence that is the ultimate goal that a lot of people are looking for. And that might be you. Maybe you just said, when you're starting your fitness journey, hey, I just need to lose 20 pounds. And if that's the main goal, there's oftentimes a reason for wanting that goal. And a lot of times it's confidence. And so hard work and just having that wins be created with hard work continues to build that confidence. And it's oftentimes not the actual work it's not the end product that makes you confident. So it's not the less body fat on your body that makes you confident. It's that you earned it and you did the hard things that needed to be done over and over and over. And now you're confident because you've shown up for yourself to earn that weight loss, if that's the main goal, right? You've earned that bigger biceps, if that's the main goal. You've shown up for yourself, and that's why there's confidence. You have confidence in yourself that you continue to show up for yourself appointment by appointment by appointment. And I think too often, and we're guilty of this all the time, often when you, yeah, definitely. But too often when you're setting the appointment with yourself, it's a lot easier to skip, right? And so we do this, more often at work than other things. But like we'll be bouncing around different locations. We'll be doing stuff for head coaches, and we'll be doing different things for other people. But when it comes to, okay, we have to sit down and talk about X, Y, and Z that mostly pertains to us personally, those are meetings that are easier to skip. That it's easier to skip a planning session by myself for an hour when someone else calls and I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't need this time. I can make that up another time. But if that meeting was set with someone else, you would be there, right? And so that's where, the
unless you're husband and wife and you run a business together, then you won't be there.
You won't be there. Because yeah, that's the thing I'm talking about. We have meetings set all the time that's like, that's going to be pushed to next week.
We're working on something else that we feel is a priority. It's just,
right.
Yeah. But if you set that meeting, typically we're in a different situation, right? But if you set a meeting and you put it in your calendar and you're disciplined and you're going to go do the hard work, you're going to be there and you're going to show up and do it. And what I love for this number 2 is the challenge this season. So all athletes are encouraged. I'm not going to say it's mandated, but it's encouraged because that's a better word to use. to do the mile run to see
Yep.
how they progress through. So we have 8 different seasons at Krave. So we do it at the beginning, the middle, and the end, and athletes can see their times. And this season is so cool because athletes don't really want to do the hard work of showing up, right? Getting out of bed at 5 a.m. to go run a mile. It sounds awful. It is awful. But these athletes that continue to show up, put the hard work in, they will see minutes knocked off of their time. And what is that doing? In that moment, their physique isn't changing, right? Nothing's changing except their mental mindset of, if I just did that and I did 1 minute better, whatever else comes my way out there, I can have the confidence to go conquer that. And it's
Definitely.
so cool because it just builds on every time you achieve something in the gym.
Yeah. And that's the confidence that, like, it translates to everything else in life. So the confidence I get by actually doing the hard work. So if I show up and I run the mile and I didn't want to, and I surprise myself, or I'm proud of myself about doing those things, now that confidence, that goes into the next hard thing that might, this project at work is going to be really hard. I don't know if I can do it, but because I've already done hard things, I have the confidence I can do hard shit. And so now I can tackle this next thing. And it just is a snowball effect of confidence begets confidence, and you get more, some people think that you're just born confident. And typically what happens is you just have success after success after success. And a lot of those successes, some of them are luck, some of them are just because you work your ass off. And that success after success from working hard, that's going to be what gives you that confidence to continue
And
everything.
it builds up on even a subconscious level. Because in that moment at work, you might not think, oh, I just ran a mile this morning, I dominated that, I'm confident. But those decisions you make every day or 3 times a week, whatever that is for your training schedule or whatever you're showing up to do the hard work for, the subconscious then is always there saying you can do it, but you might not think in those moments of
Right.
the things you've done.
Yeah.
But it just builds those habits and that consistency with that too.
Definitely. And that kind of goes into number 3. It creates the mental toughness. Being able to do hard things that you've done in the past. There's certain things you probably think about, the hardest thing that you conquered in your life, and then think about going to run that mile. Like, that mile is not hard anymore. And it's because you have the mental toughness, you have the callus of doing something very difficult. And so that's why, doing the small difficult things can easily equate to, something much more difficult, because you started that callus of, I do hard stuff. My mental toughness is there. And then number 4 is building habits of discipline. Oftentimes new athletes come into the gym, and a lot of times maybe they've never worked out before. Maybe they were athletes in the past, and now that they're in their, mid-20s, they haven't played sports for 5 years, or they're in their 30s and they haven't played sports for a decade, and they've gotten out of the habits and the discipline. They start thinking, like, because I'm too old now, I can't do what I was doing when I was in shape, right? Or whatever the excuse might be, that starts creeping into people's minds. And so you just have to start building and proving to yourself that you can do it over and over and over. And that doesn't start day one, or that doesn't end day one. I guess it always starts day one. But you start by showing up day one, right? That's a hard thing to do. I've talked to a ton of people that have sat in their car for 20 minutes and they are talking themselves into going into the gym for the first time. Maybe it's for their first meeting with us. Maybe it's for, wherever you're at, you're in your car, and this is tough, right? This is the first step, is a mental thing. And then when they do it, they're like, okay, yeah, that wasn't that tough. It wasn't something that, that I really needed to worry about that much sitting in the car. Then they get into, as far as Krave athletes go, we want to help start that discipline. We want to get scheduled, help with accountability. We want to make it easy for you to start the habits, because it can't be, I'm going from 0 to 100 day one. I'm going to work out 2 a days, and I'm going to change my entire diet and everything's going to be perfect day one. What we need to start with is starting with the discipline of one habit added to your life. Maybe that's, at Krave, training 3 days a week. So now 3 hours out of your week, that's your habit that you start creating. Then maybe we're talking about hydration, or then maybe we're talking about one specific part of your nutrition, or we're talking about, other things on recovery days, staying mobile, whatever the case might be, you can add to that. But the discipline and the habit starts with the easiest thing that you can set up. And so that's kind of how we do it. We want the first 28 days at Krave, we want that to be a very easy week by week, step by step add-on into your life, because then it's easier to add the fourth or fifth thing than it was to add the first thing. And then it's easier to add, once those 5 things are habit and you're disciplined with those 5 things, now it's easy to add that 6th thing. And before you know it, you have 25 things that were different than 28 days ago, 90 days ago. And those 28 things, I think I said 28.
You said 28.
28, all right, I'm on point. Those 28 things now are just a part of your life, and that's the discipline and the habit that you create. But always starting with that first step, and it's tough every step of the way. And so that discipline is, again, goes back to that mental toughness and kind of seeps through all of these things. And the 5th thing that I want to talk about kind of goes back to the confidence thing. It kind of talks about all of these things, but the success, like what I said, if you have success after success after success of, and some of it's luck, the things that come lucky, or the things that you don't earn, they're not as sweet as the ones that you worked your ass off for. And so, if you can tell the story of, I did X, Y, and Z that were so terribly difficult, and I achieved those, and this is what I got for that. That is the success that feels so much better. And so the 5th thing is basically struggle makes the success sweeter. So working hard to something and then attaining that goal through hard work, that is the best way to attain it. If it's given to you, oftentimes it's not going to be as sweet. You're not going to enjoy that prize as much. And so that's something, just human nature. I think if somebody gives me something, or I had to earn it, even if it's, whatever, a pair of shoes.
We just did the Earn Not Given t-shirts.
Right.
So you had to show up 12, or was it 24? Or 24 sessions.
Yeah.
So in the summertime, people aren't as disciplined as they should be.
It's nice out.
It's nice out. The bars are open. The patios are open. Nobody wants to be at the gym training. Life just gets very chaotic with schedules and everything. So we do a Earn Not Given t-shirt, but when we drop it a few weeks before we start, everybody's excited because they feel so accomplished at the end of that. You will have people figuring out any way they can to come to the gym to train.
It's crazy, yeah.
Because they want that t-shirt and they wear it so proud because it shows that they earned something. And we just give people, t-shirts every time they come in, every 24 sessions, it wouldn't mean as much.
For sure.
So that Earn Not Given that we do is really
just think
cool.
about,
And I'm so proud of all those people that do it, because it takes hard work, because there's some days you don't feel like coming, but you come anyways. And it takes discipline, right, to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable to do those things. So it takes all 5 of these things for you to get that shirt. But
those 2 months are really fun, because you get people that, I'm going on vacation. How can I get my workouts in on vacation that count towards this goal? Because I've been working my ass off and I have to go on, maybe it's not a vacation, maybe it's a work trip. They have to go on a work trip. How can I make sure that I get my workout in that counts towards this goal? And so, we talk about the app, and we talk about how we can do it at a hotel, or, even outside, whatever the case might be, doing body weight stuff. We work it out with them, but that is the dedication to that process of earning that shirt. And it's a $20 shirt. Like there's not, like, if we just gave out that shirt to everybody, it would probably end up in the trash at a lot of people's homes. But people wear that with pride, and our athletes know that like, I earned this, and that's why it says earned, not given. But if it was a shirt that was just given, it doesn't have it. It's not as sweet as going through the hard steps of earning it. So that's a great example of.
And something I just thought about too was just raising kids. So we have kids. A lot of our athletes have kids. People listening to this, but that's hard. Like raising kids, I think, is one of the hardest things you will ever do. But we show up for our kids every day, right? We show up for them. We do the hard things for them in those moments when we have to say the correct thing as parents. And it's like, sometimes we need to just take, like, and we have a son with special needs, and it's like, there's hard days. But if I'm not in the gym training for those hard moments, I don't think I would be able to carry on the hard moments with the kids as well as I do. Because even this morning, it's like the mornings I don't go to the gym and train, I just have like this anger built up inside of me. And I don't know if that's good or bad. But I feel like at the gym, even this morning, doing squats, it all sounds so absurd, but it just correlates with so much of your life that you don't realize that until you start working out. So if you're someone that hasn't really started training and you're looking to get into it, it's going to completely change your life. And I will give a shout out to all of our athletes, because we do have a lot of disciplined athletes. I think, a lot of people on the team grew up as athletes. Like Tyler was talking about at the beginning, it's a whole mindset shift, right? Of being an athlete. It's not the physical side. It's more of the mental side of all these things. And so shout out to all of our athletes, because they do train 3 days a week. They do carry on loads in their life that they can conquer better because they put their health and their fitness first. And that just carries everything else into their life for them. So shout out to all you guys, because there's different things, or maybe your career is really demanding. You don't have kids and you need to come to the gym now to get over the fears of doing big presentations or the discipline of just getting stuff done. The gym is such a great spot to build habits, and having a team around you too. Obviously we're super community driven and feed off of our team and our coaches, but just start somewhere, start sometime, because you will wish you would have done it sooner. We talk about this all the time. People like, do it today. If you've been thinking about it, don't wait. You're always this same fear that's instilled in you and starting today versus the same fear is going to be there a year from now. But when you can overcome the fear of getting into the gym, you're going to overcome the fear of the next thing in your life. And it just builds momentum, confidence, discipline, all these things. And at the end of the day, you're going to feel like you can go out and dominate everything that you do. And that's our ultimate mission, because you just carry your shoulders a little bit higher. You're lifting your head a little bit higher. Like everything about you just becomes more confident when you just start.
Mic drop on that. That's all we got for today. We're going to end it right there. Remember,
let's talk about the walk. Run coming up. So we're in endurance season right now. So we want to let you guys know, get registered for our More Than Pink 5K. So we, 5 years, coming up on 5, I think this is our 5th year. Yeah. So we do a big 5K walk run where we give proceeds to the American Cancer Society. So it's a race for all cancers. So coming together to support and encourage all of those who have been through a cancer diagnosis or just those who it's impacted in their life in some capacity. Come to it. We get t-shirts. We're going to have music, food. It's a really fun event. So you have until, we'll probably won't drop this episode. So if you want to register, it's on there. You still can. Register as soon as possible, because we will have about a 7-day cutoff where we won't have a t-shirt. You're not going to be guaranteed a t-shirt. So, and then there's a lot of planning that's involved with like food and stuff. So the sooner you guys can get registered, the better. But friends and family are welcome. You don't have to be a Krave athlete to join us. So
it's awesome. I think we have close to like 80 athletes.
Yeah, I think it's like 84 right now.
Signed up right now. So it's going to be an awesome time. We have in the past, I think our biggest last year was like 50. Or something like that, so we're close 60. To doubling. And
it always depends on that damn Iowa State game.
That's true.
But I think actually,
I don't think it's this year though.
I don't know. I thought it was, and I was surprised because I was like, oh, that's why more people are registered, because this game's not messing it all up. But one of them's home, one's away. But
yeah, you mean like where they're playing or whatever? Yeah. But
it worked out good. I mean, and just people that loved it. It just builds up. It's just like a race. It builds up because people loved it last year. It's a good route. There's a park there, so kids, you can bring your kids. They can run around. Dogs are welcome. Literally, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's an awesome event. awesome cause. Obviously, fuck cancer, and we'll try to do, everything that we can. That's what this whole season's about. Our power partner is American Cancer Society. This year, we have pink ribbons for anybody that has been affected that we can dedicate this season to. So if you haven't and you want to, we'll be taking those, and those will be at the race as well. And so if you haven't, at a Krave location, we should have our pink ribbons. Fill those out with someone that's been affected by cancer. And the main goal of that is to dedicate the season to them when it's hard for you, when you're doing hard things in the gym, just realizing that someone else is going through something that's a lot harder than running a mile. And so that is kind of what those pink ribbon dedications are about. So we're all about those. Those are really cool. And we're super excited about this event. It'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully the weather is excellent for it.
That's just a side tangent. This morning I was out running, and endurance season is not everybody's favorite. Running is not everybody's favorite. But I think sometimes you all just have to take gratitude for the things, like you said. Like, we could be battling so many other things in our life, and yet we complain that we have the health to be able to go run or do those things. And I'm a pretty positive person, so I know people are probably like, well, should you just stop with the positivity? But that's what I'm here for. But I think in those moments, it's so important to realize gratitude, because that can just help us do the hard things. Honestly, the more grateful you are that you get to do hard things, because there's people that don't get to wake up and do another hard thing. There's people that are going through cancer that don't get to do a hard thing that they want to do. So in those moments, it's so important in this season, just remember those people that are facing something like cancer and going through treatments, and do it for them. Ultimately, do it for them.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, that's all we got for you today.
Oh wait, I have one more thing.
What? Oh my goodness, we're going again and again and again. Love it.
Well, I mean, we haven't hit a half hour yet, have we? Krave's Giving. We got the date booked. So Krave's Giving is our Krave's Thanksgiving, obviously, hence the name. But we will be dropping information on that. So that will be at Smash Park. We get the team together, and we will be giving out some awards this Krave's Giving, which is a new spin on everything. So you want to be there, because if you win an award, you don't want to be that asshole that didn't show up to get your award. So you want to be there. We'll have more information on that, of what that's all going to be about, and the date. But it's going to be on a Saturday, which I know a lot of people are excited for, because we used to have them on Thursday nights. And then the people that did the hard work, that were disciplined to go on Friday morning, it was a little rough for them. So now Saturday night will be fun. So there should be a lot of people there. So it'll be awesome. Yep.
Excited. Awesome. Well, with that, remember, you're an athlete. Live like it.
Bye, guys.